Okay, we have today we have standard form of the equation of a circle from given information. So what we're gonna do is basically, given the information presented here, we have a fourth problem right here too, but we'll get to that later. So given the information that is presented here, we're supposed to use this information to basically just write the standard form of a circle, like the equation of the standard form of a circle. So it is important to know before we start that the center of a circle is given by the coordinates h and k, and the standard equation of a circle, the standard form, is given as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals radius squared. So given that information, we have four problems here. We have number 1, number 2, number 3, and let's see number 4. This is number 4. The circle inserted in the square with vertices. Yeah, we'll get to that one later. So let's go ahead and basically just do this. Do number 1 first. Let me switch my pen. All right. So we have the center of the circle is at 0, 0 with the radius of 6. So basically what this is just telling us is that the center is at the origin, right? The x coordinate is 0, the y coordinate is 0, right? So we do not have to put anything in the h and k values. We can just write it down as x squared plus y squared equals, what is 6 raised to the power of 2? That is going to be 36, right? That's going to be 36. Six times 6 is 36. So that's what we're gonna do for that one. So yeah, that's, if you're curious what is this going to look like, it's gonna look something like this. This is the center of 0, 0, and this is, yeah, that looks pretty bad. But this, it has a radius of 6, r of 6, radius of 6. Well, right here it'll be 6, right here it'll be 6 too, so, but you get it. It has a radius of 6. So let's go ahead and do number 2 now. This is the center at -7 to 6, well, -7. That's our x coordinate, and 6 is our y coordinate with a radius of 4. So now we can go ahead and use our equation that's given to us. So we have x minus h, our h is -7, sorry, minus -7 squared plus y minus our k value, which is 6, right? Squared is equal to radius squared. This is our radius. What is it squared? 4 times 4 is 16. So let's go ahead and distribute this negative sign to the -7. So this gives us x plus 7 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 16. X plus 7 squared, y, yep, that seems about right. So that's going to be your answer. And it's probably going to look something like this. -7, let's just say -7 here, 6 is right here, let's just say it's that, radius of 4. It's probably going to be like it's probably going to look something like that, right? -7 to 6. Yeah, it's going to look something like it doesn't matter. We'll see more examples when we actually have to draw the circle, but this does not matter. Let's go ahead and do number 3. Number 3 states center at -3 at 3, tangent to the x-axis. So right here we actually do have to draw the graph. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have to pause a little bit so I can draw straighter lines, but I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back, and I did not draw this Cartesian plane as well as I wanted to, but let's keep going. We have the center of the circle is at -3. That's our x coordinate, and 3 is our y coordinates. So we go to -3, which is going to be right here. -3 to +3, right? 1, 2, 3. It's going to be somewhere around here. -3 to +3, tangent to the x-axis. So what does that mean? That means our circle is going to touch the x-axis, right? So it's going to go ahead and put a point there. Do it in red. Tangent to the x-axis, right here. So what now? So now we're gonna go ahead and basically we're gonna find our radius now. So let's go ahead and find our radius. So find radius. Actually, let me do this in blue pen. But yeah, we're gonna find our radius now. So in order to find our radius, we have to basically just find it. Actually, let's label this. This is going to be again -3, 3 is going to be 0, -3, right? 0, -3. Actually no, that our x. Sorry about that. It's going to be -3, 0. -3 is our x, 0 is our y. Same with this one. -3 is our x, 3 is our y. Sorry about that. So now that we got our points labeled, now let's go ahead and find the radius. So let's go ahead and use a distance formula for that. The distance formula is equal to the square root of what is it? X squared sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. All of that under the square root sign. So that's our distance formula. Let's write down our points that we have chosen. So we are already given the center of -3, 3, and the point that we chose is right here, -3, 0, right? And -3, 0. All right, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and find the distance between them. And the distance between them is going to be our radius. So D is going to be equal to R, right? Because that's going to be our distance and that's going to be our radius. So let's go ahead and find the, the distance. Let's do R equals the square root of, let's label these first. This is going to be x1 sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 1, y sub 2. Alright, let's go ahead and plug in our values now. So x sub 2 is going to be -3 minus this one. So -3 minus -3 minus -3. Let's go ahead and put that. That's just going to distribute to the negative is going to distribute to a +3, but let's just write it down just for the sake of this step. Plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1, y sub 2 is 0, minus y sub 1 is 3 squared. So let's go ahead and distribute this negative to the -3. So we have r is equal to the square root of -3 plus 3, right? Squared plus 0 minus 3 squared. So now let's go ahead and compute this. So this is going to be equal to 0, right? -3 plus 3 is going to be 0. To raise to the second power is still going to be 0. So now we're going to have r equals the square root of -3 squared. -3 squared, that is going to be 9, right? So this is going to give us r is equal to the square root of 9, which in turn is just going to give us 3, right? That's our radius. Our radius is 3. Radius is 3, right? But the equation is asking us for the radius squared, so we're just going to square this, and that's easy. Radius squared, 3 times 3 is 9, right? So that's our r squared. We found our r squared now. So now we can pretty much go ahead and start constructing our formula now that we found the radius of this. So let's go ahead and construct the formula. So, and And by the way, the radius is 3, because if we count here, that's 1, 2, 3. That's like 3 units there, right? So our distance formula does check out. We found out that the radius is 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're good. We're good there. So now let's go ahead and compute. Basically, just build our equation now. So our equation is going to be, let's write it right here. We're given the center, right? We're given the center of -3 and 3. So again, this is going to be our h value. This is going to be our k value, right? So let's see. X minus -3. Yeah, x minus -3. Just like how we did here, we distributed the negative sign. So that is just going to be x plus 3, right? X plus 3 squared plus y. Our y value, our k value is 3, so it's just going to be y minus 3, right? Y minus 3 squared is equal to our r squared value of 9. So now we have x plus 3 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals to 9. That's going to be our answer for this question, this problem. So it's going to look like that. So yeah. So now that we found our equation and our radius, I just sketched a rough sketch of the circle. I mean, it's not perfect, but I sketched a rough sketch of the circle with a radius of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. That's our radius. Radius of 3, with our center at -3, 3. Center of -3, 3. All right. So yeah, that's how you do number 3. So yeah. Just if you don't believe my distance formula, our radius is in fact 3. Just plug this into the calculator. You will get 3. And look here, 1, 2, 3, 3. So now that's how you do number 1, 2, 3. So let's go ahead and do number 4 now. So let's throw that aside. Let's go ahead and do number 4. So what is number 4 asking? The circle I can't spell, but the circle inserted in the square with vertices -2 and -2, 5, comma 4, 5, comma -2, -1, comma 4, -1. So we are going to have to draw a square with these points. So again, I'm gonna have to pause just to draw our Cartesian plane, and then we're gonna have to go ahead and start plotting some points. All right, so I'll be right back. So again, this is a really horrible looking Cartesian plane, but we're just gonna have to work with it, so that's okay. So let's go ahead and plot our points. Sorry about that. Plot our points. This isn't a function. We're gonna plot our points. We're not gonna plug them in. All right. So what color should we use? Let's use purple. Purple. So let's go ahead and plot our points, not plug, because this is not a function, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's go ahead and plot. So let's go ahead and do the first one. -2 and 5. So let's go ahead and find -2 and 5. This is -2, right? Let's go up to 5. It's gonna be I wish I had graph paper, but I don't. So -2 to 5. So let's go ahead and label that -2 and 5. Right? So now let's go ahead and find the other one, 4 and 5. So let's go ahead to, it's labeled for us. So we're gonna go to 4, then we're gonna go to 5. 5 again, it's right here. So let's go to, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find where it's at. 4 and 5. I'm trying to eyeball this. Looks to be about right. All right. Yeah, that looks good, right? I think, kinda. That's alright. 4 and 5. Let's connect these, because we're making a square. Should we do a dotted line, or should we do a straight? Let's just do a straight line. So let's connect these. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of hard. That looks pretty horrible, but let's keep going. So we have -2 and -1. So negative 2, we found our negative 2 right here. Let's find our negative 1, which is right here, right? Let's go ahead and plot this one. Negative 2, negative 1, right? Again, let's connect them, this one and that one, to make a square. Remember, we're making a square. And that is just ugly. Yeah. Not as pretty as I want it to be, but alright. Yeah, now 4, negative 1. 4 and negative 1's right here. Now let's connect. Actually, let's label 4, negative 1. Now let's connect. Now let's connect these bottom ones. Yeah. So our midpoint is going to be all, I mean, the math is going to be all right, but our midpoint and like visually it's going to be all jacked up, but that's okay. As long as you guys get the idea, that's all right. So yeah, now that we pretty much found our, what do you call it, our square, let's go ahead and draw. You can basically just pick any point you want just to make a diagonal line. I believe that's what, diagonal, I believe that's what it's called. Just make a diagonal line in any point. Just choose any 2 points and then just make a diagonal line. But for this example, I am going to choose this point and that point. So let's go ahead and make our diagonal line. Yeah, this is gonna, it doesn't have to be perfect, but visually, if you want to visualize this, yeah, try your best, but just for the sake of the math, let's just go ahead and do it like this, So let's go ahead and find our midpoint. Let's go ahead and put the purple away. Let's go ahead and find our midpoint. So let's, where should I do my work? Let's do it down here. Midpoint. Let's go ahead and find our midpoint. We're going to use a midpoint formula, which is x sub 1 plus x sub 2 over 2. Y sub 1 plus y sub 2 over 2, right? Let's go ahead and use a midpoint formula. Just the averages of the, what do you call it, the points. So let's, what points did we choose? We choose negative 2 and negative 1, and we chose 4 and 5, right? 4 and 5. And this one. Let's go ahead and find the averages of these 2 points by using the midpoint formula. So let's go ahead and do it right here. So let's label it first. This is x sub 1, this is x sub 2, this is y sub 1, this is y sub 2. So x sub 1 is negative 2, right? Negative 2 plus x sub 2 is 4 divided by 2. Y sub 1 is negative 1 plus 5. Y sub 2 is 5. Divide that by 2. We are going to get our midpoint of negative 2 plus 4. That's going to be 2 divided by 2. That's going to be 1, right? Negative 1 plus 5. That's 4 divided by 2. It's going to be 2. That's going to be our midpoint. Our midpoint is this one. Let's go ahead and box this thing in. So we're going to have 1 and 2. So this is where things might get ugly, because ugly visually, because let's go back to let's do it in red. Yeah, let's do it in red. So this is going to be our midpoint. 1, 2. Let's see if it even matches up. 1, 2. Kinda, right? Our midpoint of, let's label that 1, 2. Somewhat. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. All right, cool. So let's go ahead, now that we found our midpoint, let's go ahead and find a radius. Let's go ahead and find our radius now, right? Yeah, find radius. Find radius. Yeah, let's go ahead and find the radius. So let's go ahead and choose a point, shall we? So we should choose, which point should we choose? You can choose pretty much any point, just make it easy on you, make it whole numbers just to make it easy on you. Obviously you can't really choose that point. You need I mean, you can draw the circle if you want. I mean, you can basically just choose any of these points, just not these points, because the circle does not go all the way over here. So let's go ahead and choose this point right here. This point. That is going to be 4, 4, 2, right? So yeah, just make sure your circle touches that point. So if we're going to draw a circle like that, just make sure this touches that point. Don't choose that one. Just choose, you know, one of these corners right here. Make sure the circle touches it. So that's going to be our radius. So it's going to be R. From here to here is going to be R. We're going to find our radius. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So what points did we choose? We have our center, which is 1, 2, and 4, 2, right? The point we chose was 4, 2. So again, to find the radius, just use the distance formula. But let's label this x sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 1, y sub 2. Just use this formula, the distance formula. X sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. All underneath the square root, so just go ahead and, yeah, just plug in your values. And you already know how to use a distance formula. We had enough practice with that, so we're just going to do this. X sub 2, 4 minus 1, sorry about that, squared, plus y sub 2, 2 minus 2, right, squared. That's going to give us, let's see, that's going to be 0, that's going to be 3 squared, so 3 squared, that's going to be d equals the square root of 9, that's going to be, sorry about that, that's going to be 3, right? Our radius is going to be 3, but our radius squared is going to be 9, right? Just like in the previous example. Look, if you don't believe me, let's count these. Let's just count these. There's going to be 1, 2, 3. Our formula checks out. We got our radius and radius squared of 9. Radius is 3, radius squared is 9. Radius squared. Yeah, radius squared is 9. Look, 1, 2, 3, and the formula gave us 3, right? So it's legitimate. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do some. Okay, now that we found our radius, now we can pretty much construct our formula, right? Let's construct the formula. So again, let's see. We have our center point, right? We found our center point to be 1, 2. And our radius, our squared, is going to be 9, right? And again, the formula of the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, right? X minus h squared. Yeah. So just plug in your values just like we did in our previous examples. And this is just positive values, so you don't have to do all that distribution. So this is going to be easy. So it's x minus h, which is 1, squared, plus y minus k, which is 2, squared is equal to 9, right? X minus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 9. Just checking my work here. And that is going to be our what do you call it? Our formula. Our equation. So give him the info. Let's just go ahead and draw the circle. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna draw the circle. So I have drawn the circle. It looks more like an ellipse than a circle, but that's okay. You guys get the idea. So that is basically how you find that. That's our little diagram, and yeah, that's it. Those are the 4 examples I have for you today, and yeah, that's it. And yeah, good luck.